On this episode of Old Joe's Reminiscence, when a local radio station broadcasts their Halloween night show live from an allegedly real haunted house, the skeptical radio host doesn't quite know what to think. In the late 1970s, my younger sister dated a kid named Sam Abbott. His parents claimed to be living in a haunted house. On October 31st, 1978, Pittsburgh's 50,000-watt AM radio powerhouse, KDKA, did a live broadcast from that Abbott house. At the time, I had no idea that their house was supposed to be haunted. I'd spent time there too. My mom had always been into that sort of thing, going as far as taking paranormal classes. But I was always a bit of a skeptic, and I still am, at least as far as ghosts and hauntings go. I did have one incident from a few years earlier that had stuck in my mind back then. I was watching television one hot and humid night. Dad was dozing on his chair. Mom and my sister had already gone to bed. The doorbell rang. I went to answer it, but there was nobody there. That was very strange. My dad woke up and wanted to know what was going on, and I told him. A little later it rang again, and once again there was nobody there. When it happened a third time, my dad got up and turned on the outdoor spotlights. That would either scare the pranksters away, or we'd catch them the next time they did it. Well, it did happen again. We rushed onto the porch, but there was nobody out there that we could see. Then, while we were both standing on the porch, the doorbell rang once again. Try explaining that. That's when my sister came out of her room, sleepwalking again. She looked toward the door and screamed. Then she just stood there, stunned. Mom came out of her room wondering what all the commotion was about. She looked toward the door, past which my dad and I stood, and she let out a gasp before fainting. Later, Mom said that she had seen her deceased mother standing in the doorway. By now, you're probably thinking that I'm either crazy, a liar, or maybe a combination of the two. Now, how could I remain a skeptic after all that? Well, I guess it's that I didn't personally see anything. Other than the doorbell ringing, my sister's reaction was typical to being awakened while sleepwalking. And I don't know what caused my mom to faint, but her eyes could have been playing tricks on her, I guess. Remember, she'd just come from a dark room into the light. Now, fast forward to 1978. Mom had passed that May. I'd been trying to keep my sister out of trouble. So the kids were just 14, not yet old enough to drive. So my sister relied on me or Dad. I'd never encountered anything unusual hanging out with them, and I didn't know about the supposed haunting until my sister asked me to record a Halloween show in 1979. I hadn't heard this 1978 broadcast until I found it on YouTube about 5 years ago. The following are excerpts I've carefully edited from a nearly 3-hour radio broadcast. It was recorded by YouTuber Wackyraces68. Links in the description. And now, KDKA's John Cigna from the Abbott Haunted House on October 31st, 1978.
Radio personality Carmine John Cigna was born in Brooklyn, New York on December 11, 1935. Carmine Cigna attended the Cambridge School of Broadcasting and Brooklyn College in New York. He found work at radio stations in West Virginia, Ohio, and Indiana before making Pittsburgh his home. He worked at 1320 WJAS before they changed their format to Top 40 with call sign WKTQ, known as 13Q. In 1973, John joined Pittsburgh's 50,000-watt Clear Channel powerhouse, 1020 KDKA. The often brash and confrontational radio personality hosted his talk show from 9 p.m. to midnight. After 10 years of working nights, John replaced morning host Jack Bogut, who moved to WTAE AM. A motorcycle accident in 1998 put John Cigna in the hospital and off the air for a while. Previously calling for the repeal of Pennsylvania's helmet law, John changed his mind after his crash.
Okay, I think the best way to start out this kind of a program is to say to you that we are in a home that is probably over 100 years old. And it's October 31st, 1978, Halloween night. And normally, in this kind of a situation, we're usually at a haunted house having fun and watching people go by. For example, March of Dimes haunted houses that we've gone to in the past. This home that we are at tonight is supposedly a real haunted house. We're in the home of Sam and Sally Abbott in Freeport, Pennsylvania. Now, we're going to find out later on from John DeMaurier, who is our ghost hunter and parapsychologist, exactly how we chose this particular home. But we're now sitting in the living room of this old-type home, and I guess if you wanted to pick a home that had to be haunted, this is the one you would pick. You would not pick a modern home, split-level, ranch-style home. This has the high ceilings, the big windows with the shutters on them, the staircase that goes upstairs and winds around. I want to introduce you to the people that we have with us tonight, people who have seen something I guess they call ghost entities, whatever they are. You have met John DeMaurier before. I want to introduce you to Sally Abbott and her friend Lucy. Sally Abbott, I want to thank you for inviting us here in this so-called haunted house. I don't know, what kind of phrase that takes on, but obviously on Halloween night it takes on that eerie, feeling that something is going to happen. I don't know that anything is going to happen tonight, but let's start as to when you first moved into this house and when you discovered something. Did you hear anything before you moved into the home about the home itself? And after that, maybe you can tell us when things started happening.
We bought the house 7 years ago, and we lived, 10 years before that, we had lived in the house 5 doors down the street. And we became familiar with the house by meeting the owner, the previous owner. We had heard nothing that was strange about the house. We fell in love with the house. And I said if it ever came up for sale, we would want to buy that house. This was the house in Freeport that we wanted. So the day the for sale sign came up outside, I went home and said, Sam, our house is for sale. So we moved in the day before Thanksgiving 7 years ago. And now,
before you get to anything that happened, when you talked to the previous owners of the home, had they mentioned anything to you about any strange happenings in the house?
No. There was nothing ever mentioned that anything strange had happened in the house at all. The family, there was nothing said.
So, and you had never previously had any kind of strange phenomena experience?
I have had things happen when I had an uncle die. And before we were contacted, I looked at my husband and I said, my uncle is dead. And the phone rang and they had found his father. Right, okay. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
But nothing else, no.
Okay.
Sam went hunting the first day after we moved in, and I went to bed, and the children were in bed. House was all locked up, and all of a sudden, the attic door opened, and I hear footsteps coming down the steps. I thought, well, one of the kids got up. We had lived in a ranch-style house before, and I thought, well, they're going to fall down the steps. I'll get up and check on them. I got up and checked. Both kids were in bed. I come downstairs. The house was all locked up. Everything was in its place. I went back to bed. So the next night, the same thing happened. The third night, the same thing happened. The attic door opened, and the footsteps came down. The fourth night, Sam came home. And I told him, I related my story, and he said, right. He didn't believe me. You know, this was not the most convincing story he'd heard in his life. So we went to bed. About 2:30 in the night, the attic door opened. And I hit him. I said, Sam, here comes my imagination. And the footsteps came down the steps. So we both ran out into the hallway.
Did he hear them?
He heard them. He heard the attic door open. He heard the footsteps. And we both went running out in the hallway. We went to the attic. We came downstairs. Nothing. So that was how it started.
Okay. When did you first see something?
Well, the first sighting of anything that we had was a pair of trousers that we had packed away. You know, we had umpteen boxes sitting around the house. He wanted a particular pair of trousers, and I said, I don't know where they are. A couple days went by, and he said, oh, you found my pants. And I said, no. And he says, well, they're laying across the bed. No, they were nice, neatly folded across the bottom of the bed.
You didn't put them there?
I didn't put them there. He didn't put them there. The children didn't put them there.
Okay, these entities that we're talking about, and hopefully will come out tonight and somebody will see them. Lucy tells me that they have promised to make an appearance this evening. How did you contact them?
Through a Ouija board,
You say we.
Sally and I.
Sally, so they said that they would make some kind of an appearance or make their presence felt in some way this evening. Let me get back to Sally. When did you first see some entity or some communications took place between these so-called ghosts, and for a better word, John de Maurier, what do I call them?
Entities.
Entities? Is ghosts a bad word in parapsychology?
How's that?
Spirit? Fine.
Well, we had no actual sighting before John de Maurier came to investigate the house. But we didn't know what to look for. You know, I mean, we were dealing with something completely unknown.
Okay, what led you to call John de Maurier anyway? I mean, you got a pair of trousers on the bed. Did other things start showing up? Is that...
Yes. I had a wallet from my childhood appear under my husband's pillow at night. This would come from, 6-7 miles away from here. The house is vacant, and, you know, it was just a wallet I had when I was about in 4th grade. A lighter from Oklahoma, where my sister lived, appeared on his dresser. You know, there was no reason why. I wanted some craft items moved, and Sam said, right, we'll get to them, you know, but he doesn't really rush into things. So I went upstairs. I thought, well, it was around Christmas time. I'll get my craft items out and finish the presents that I had been making. I couldn't find the boxes. And so I asked him, where'd you put them? And he said, I didn't put them anywhere. And I said, well, where did they go? So we started hunting, and we found them in a room, in a closet. Everything had been taken out of the closet, the boxes put in place, and the closet door shut. They were all stacked up.
Were you scared, Sally, in any way? I mean, you know, if all of a sudden strange things started happening in my home, and I thought there were ghosts, I'd you know, frightened, I guess, is one word. Were you afraid? The reason I bring that out is supposedly you have ghosts in this house, and tonight your husband is so concerned he's out bowling.
Nothing.
So nothing stops him from bowling. You know, you got ghosts in the house. He says, okay, I'll see the ghosts later.
Right.
Yeah.
Put them on hold. I'll catch them when I get home.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Is there, you have children? Are you frightened in any way?
No, I think at the time that something is happening, there's a fear there, but it's the fear of the unknown. You don't know what exactly is going to take place. But there's also a feeling like you're seeing something that you don't know about, and it's kind of a tranquil feeling, you know. And really maybe until something happens and it's over with, think, oh, that was weird. You know, we've lived so much with it and taken it as part of our life.
How much have you lived with it? When did it first start?
The first week we moved in.
And that's
7
been
years.
7 years now.
Yeah, 7 years.
How long did it take for you to say, wait a minute, this is unexplainable, it has to be ghosts?
Well, we thought there was a logical explanation to everything. We kept telling, well, there has to be, you know, something that's causing this. We didn't think right away about it being ghosts. It was in the back of our mind, but we did not think that. And it wasn't until after I contacted John de Maurier that, you know, he said, well, hey, you have a ghost. I thought, my gosh, maybe we do, you know. And at this point, I'm thinking, should I be afraid of it now?
I think that you'd find that most people who believed all of a sudden that there were entities in their home would move out. They'd be gone. Okay, John de Maurier, you're called into the situation. What happens?
Okay, when Sally related the story as quickly as she could, to myself and Perry Marshall when he was subbing for you. I came to the conclusion that she had described really the classic type of haunted house story. She had given indication that there were things going on that she could not explain. There were mischievous things happening, which gave indication of such terms as poltergeist and the like. I came down accompanied by an associate who's a behavioral psychologist, and we came with an amount of equipment which consisted of film to film the various rooms to see what we had, first of all, on film, if we could capture anything. Second, we wanted the story firsthand from her again, and we went through the entire place. All the lights went out in the attic. Well, this was great. Unfortunately, it was, there's nothing more frightening than to know that you're in an unknown area of someone's home when surrounded by very sharp pipes, instruments of various sorts, and that if you slipped and fell, you would impale yourself. But that was the situation, and both John and I worked our way out of the attic and back to the hallway. A lot of human fear is there, which is imagination. And of course, that's there no matter how many times you've gone to anyone's haunted place or a house that's just haunted. You think of things, and you'll discover that probably tonight. It'll have the same effect upon you. In any case, we did have a seance. We went through the attic. We saw the basement area. We went to the maid's room, the secret stairwells, which goes up to the maid's room. We went through the entire place. We came to the conclusion the seance is a thing to have. We were using the Ouija board, which, of course, again, is just an instrument. We asked that they show themselves. The first thing I think we all noticed was the stairwells. And very early, if I'm correct, in the seance, we all felt the stairwell was where there was something going to happen. Now, I don't know what makes one feel that, but we did all feel that. We looked at the stairwell, and on the stairwell, I could see 3 small forms take shape. John, the behavioral psychologist, said he saw 2. Lucy saw 2. Sally saw 2, if I'm correct.
While the seance was going on?
This is while the seance was going on. Now, at the same time, when I say forms, they look to me like 3 small children sitting on those stairs right behind you. Now, the shape was sufficient enough for me to make that statement. We then discovered that we had another one looking at us. And we looked to the dining room, which is to your right and to my left, and there next to the dining room table, we all saw a small female, dressed, and I kid you not, dressed as if she was from the turn of the century. Now, her form looked as if someone had a projector, John, and projected her right next to that table. Now, if I'm correct, that's what we saw. I saw it. And she had clothes with all types of ruffles and things like that. Now, Lucy immediately started responding to that little girl standing there by saying, "Don't be afraid. Come closer to us."
You're telling the ghost not to be afraid?
Yes. Well, we were all aware.
Boy, that's a switch.
We were looking at a small child that was looking at us. And the child was in that room, and we were in this room. We couldn't get her on film. We couldn't do anything because when we moved in that direction, she moved back. And I remember she came maybe a foot closer, and that was it. Now, at that point, John, there was no evidence at all that there was a little girl that ever died in this house. Now, I just found out tonight that there was a little girl who did die in this house, and the daughter of the first owner. There was a downstairs scene in the basement now. This is very important too. While we were down there, that something, if I'm correct, shoved Sally to such an extent that she screamed. And that was enough reason to not go downstairs anymore. I didn't know what the situation was.
This is the first indication I'm getting of anybody being afraid. I can't really get it into my head that 3 or 4 people are sitting around a seance table. Ghosts appear and somebody says, "Come closer." Sally, obviously this is the first time in your life you've ever seen a ghost or an entity. Yeah. I'm going to get to Lucy in a minute to find out why she was so calm sitting at a table and saying to a little girl, "Ghost, come closer. If tonight we see a little girl ghost, I don't know if I'm going to react that way. And I...
Well, keep in mind, John, that when Lucy was reacting to the little girl in the dining room, I noticed, and I'm certain that the other people in the room noticed, that it was almost as if she felt some link to this little girl. There's no question about it. She seems to be more sensitive. One of my questions that I asked Sally in that very first meeting here was, did you not fear with the children here? Did you not feel that there was a possibility they could be harmed? And Sally gave every indication at that time. And every indication from Sam was that there was no intent for harming the child. We did go to the point of interviewing one of the small children, one of Sally's children, who did apparently tell Sally and Sam that at night he spoke to someone in the mirror. But he was afraid to tell me that.
He'll come in at night. One night he came in and he says, Mom, he says, the ghosts are laughing at me. You know, and he was frightened. That's the first indication that Danny had that he was frightened. I have a hard time with babysitters. It's hard to get a steady one. You know,
yes. When you have 3 here already, who wants to come?
They have you know, they come once, and I come home and they've got a party. Hey, I'm at the Abbott house. Come and visit me. You know, and
do they ever tell you that they have seen anything?
Yes. This weekend we were away, and the babysitter was in the house by herself, and 3 times this love seat moved. It physically moved, and she straightened it up and went crooked again. She straightened it up and went crooked again. The time before that she watched the kids, she was in the house, and the attic door opened, and the footsteps came down, and she says, well, I think it's time to go outside and sit in the porch for a while. But they have, one babysitter did have a sighting of a light, a brilliant light coming from the stairwell. And she, you know, automatically went to the phone and said, Mom, come down here, and hung up. And that was it. You know, they do see things and hear things, you know, at times.
With Halloween nearing, someone on a Freeport Facebook group happened to mention the Abbott haunted house recently. Now, a friend and classmate of my wife's, who's also the younger sister of a childhood classmate of mine, commented that she'd been a babysitter for the Abbotts. So I reached out to her, and she told me that nothing ever really happened when she was in the house, except there was a smell of perfume when nobody else was in the room, and one of the dogs, named Bingo, would often stare into corners. I'd often heard my mom mention that the smell of sweet perfume could indicate the presence of an entity. She'd learned that at one of her paranormal classes back in the early 1970s. I have to add that I had always noticed a sweet, rather pleasant smell at the Abbott house, but I figured it was just something related to their dog grooming business.
John DeMaurier, what's here? What do you say? We're talking about 3 small children. We're talking about a woman that you talked about earlier that was dressed in garb of old. We're in a home that the last time we can determine was built somewhere around 1880 or before. What are we seeing? You said that the first owner of the home's daughter died here.
If you ask me what's here, I came to this theory 3 years ago, and I don't know how valid it is now. I don't know if it should be revised, because we don't know what we're going to find out later this evening. It may well be possible that time overlaps. The Abbotts are living here, but they're sharing this house with somebody else in another time period. It may well be that while we're here in 1978, whomever lived here 70 years ago is still living here. It may be 70 years ago at a certain time in a certain part of this house. That is a very extreme theory, but I've seen this type of thing before in New Jersey, and it's the only conclusion I can come to. I'm thinking that in certain parts of this house, at certain times, it's 70 years ago, or 60 years ago, or 50 years ago, or 10 years ago, when the gentleman still work downstairs?
Around the holidays, at Christmas time, our front door will open and shut, but not physically. You hear it opening and shutting, and I've stood in the hallway and watched it. The sound is there. It opens and it shuts. The wind chimes blow as if somebody comes in. The dogs go woofing.
My mom once told me about an experience she encountered on our property. She was in the garden, and she smelled sweet tobacco smoke. There's that sweet smell phenomenon again. When she looked up, she saw a man dressed in farmer's coveralls walking across an open field. He was smoking a pipe. Now, according to my mom, when he'd gotten about halfway to the tree line, he just faded and disappeared.
Let's talk to the people. Okay, we're back at the Sally Abbott home in Freeport, Pennsylvania. All right, now we're going up with some candles. We're starting to climb the stairs. Sally and Lucy will join us a little while. Complete candlelight. The reason for the candles, why?
Only because of the atmosphere.
Will ghosts...
I think that because of the fact that we're dealing with what we feel are entities from maybe 70 years ago, they were using candles. It may be inviting to them. It may make them more at ease. Maybe they'll show themselves. Also because I want to see the drafts.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to go open the door to the attic, which is darker than... Boy, is it ever dark up here.
Ooh. Those are kites from over 70 years ago. Those are toys that were played with by children maybe 70 years ago. Now, you can take a good look in there with the candle. There's also shoes from 70s, 80 years ago,
Yeah.
turn of the century stuff. It's all stored in here.
Wait a minute, there's another door here.
Another attic.
Another attic?
Another section.
Oh, brother.
Okay, again, things are stored up here which are from the turn of the century.
No feeling of anything with us here.
No, I personally don't feel anything.
Okay. Okay, that's our look into the attic. We're going to make our way back down and go into the basement.
I'd mentioned that my mother took an interest in paranormal activities. My sister had also talked of seeing ghosts, claiming that one had talked to her at the Abbott house. Then my half-brother, who was my mother's son from her first marriage, told me many years ago that he'd seen the spirit of our mother visiting his house. He said she'd looked in on his newborn son's crib in the middle of the night. Now, much like John Cigna on this broadcast, the psychic abilities needed to be able to see entities must have skipped over me, because I've never experienced anything like that. Come to think of it, I don't know if I'd want to.
We're now in the kitchen. Lucy tells me there's an awfully cold feeling in here.
Very, very cold. We have company.
We have company.
We have.
Sally, do we have company?
We've got company.
When is the company going to say hello or something?
I hope soon.
All right, let's go down into the basement. Careful, folks. Or we're all going to go down one at a time here. That's right. Just hang on to those candles, folks. I feel like I'm going into a dungeon rather than into a basement. Okay, now we're down into the basement area. Nothing is happening so far. Wow. Boy, you talk about dungeon. This is dungeon looking. John, you want to get the girls down and see if, we were by ourselves, nothing happened. Maybe we have to have the girls with us for something to happen.
Well, I think it will add to it because I think both of them are so sensitive to what's going on. Remember now, I've come into this house for the first time in 2 years. You've come into this house for the first time. They're more attuned. Whatever's going on here is going on with them maybe every single day.
All right, here comes Sally and Lucy. All right. Sally and Lucy, do you feel anything? Do you see any? Where are you going with the candle? Wait a minute. Lucy says back here.
Let's hold on for a moment here. Let us take this opportunity to kind of look in that area without the candles. Now, we don't
mean without the candles?
Okay, we did this before, if you remember.
How are you going to see anything without the candles?
The object is to see what we can see in the dark.
How are you going to know where you're going?
We're not moving. We'll stand
we're going to go there and then turn the candles
Okay,
on.
and we do have a flashlight.
Oh, okay.
So that we can blow the candles out and just...
Two candles are out, and now it's black. I mean, nothing. There goes the flashlight.
What we're looking for are glowing areas. This is classic ectoplasmic material here we're looking for. And if we can spot it, then we've achieved something. Maybe they will show themselves to some degree here in this basement. Remember, again, this has not been the best area to see anything, though there was a dark figure seen by Lucy and Sally in the past.
Do you feel anything? I assume, Sally, you're next to me.
Yes,
That's
I'm here.
you? Okay.
I'm here.
Do you feel anything or see anything? Or?
I don't see anything yet, no. I don't see anything.
Okay, now Lucy told us to go on a couple of minutes ago. Where do you want us to go, Lucy? First, I got to find Lucy. Here's Lucy.
Here I am.
Okay.
Over to the bench.
Over to the bench. Okay, now we'll turn the flashlight on so we can...
do is go one at a time with that flashlight being held so we can all...
Okay. Lucy and Sally are holding hands. John, I don't think I want to hold your hand. Wait a minute. Hold it.
There we go. John just hit his head.
Wait a minute. No, something hit me. Oh, it's a wire on the ceiling. Okay, I didn't know what it was. I'm not sure. Okay. Now we're way back in this dungeon-type cellar. I don't mean to knock your home, Sally. I'm trying to describe
dungeon.
it.
This is my dungeon.
It's dungeon-type cellar, and now we're way back in it. And Lucy, you wanted us to come back here. Why?
This is the last place that we found anything.
We found a 2-yard measuring stick that was laying on top of the bench. Now, we'd been down the basement before. Something that big you'd be able to see, right? It appeared. A brand new square appeared. And this is where we were contacted the last time that we had a seance. This is where I was pulled. This is the area. I am standing right where I was
Okay,
pulled.
now what do we turn off the light and just wait? All right, now here we go to pitch black once again. Wait a minute, hold it. Lucy and what's going on here? Hold it. What's happening? Lucy?
We're being pulled by a force.
What do you mean you're being pulled? Lucy and let me get out of the way so John DeMore can get in there. But Lucy and Sally are hugging each other in the corner here, and I don't know what's going on.
Them before.
All right, wait a minute. Let's find out what's going on.
All right. In front of them is a very cold mass, John. If you want to stick your hand in front of...
Well, I don't know if I can get...
let's see here. It's colder in front.
I can feel some cold, yeah.
Okay. Now that's what it was, and it is pulling them. I can't... Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Why don't you pull them out of there? Hold on.
What do you mean you can't pull them out of there? I'll pull them out of there.
Go ahead, John. Pull. I've got the microphone. Pull, John.
Well, all right. Wait a minute.
Pull behind. Go ahead, pull.
Holy mackerel. You gals can't be that strong. Oh. You all right, Sally? Are you free, Sally, or whatever it was?
Okay, all right.
You okay?
I'm okay.
Okay, now what, Sally, could you describe to us what happened?
There was just a very strong force that was pulling in front
Why
of
did
us.
the light go out?
I don't know. Oh, here we go.
Okay, now the flashlight just went out.
Betty and I were trying to concentrate and trying to project, and then that was when this force started to pull, and that was what happened the last time we were down here in the basement asking for something to happen. And it was real cold in front of us and everything.
Well, what kind of feeling pulling? I don't quite understand.
Like if you get caught off balance and you go forward, okay, and if you have something that is pulling you from the inside and just pulling you towards it, this is the feeling that you have, that you cannot stop yourself from going into that force. Now, the last time that happened, this force walked through me, and that was when they took me upstairs, and I don't remember anything until I was upstairs hysterically
I
crying.
remember she screamed. And now, what was in front of her now? I could feel it pulling forward, and I asked you to pull behind them.
Well, I felt, I don't know if anything was pulling Sally, obviously, but I know that it was tough getting Lucy and Sally from where they were, because I don't think they're both that strong.
No, and you have to keep in mind I was pulling also. So there were two men pulling two women, and we could not get them away from this area. That's interesting. I don't know the explanation for it. I do know that there's a bench down there, a box down there with tools. That's the former owners. Now, this was a very private area, by the way. We're in an area we shouldn't be in. This is a little world inside this house.
What's happening?
It's almost like a trance. Both of them are capable of going into what is almost like a trance when they're down here. I don't know what it is. I could feel a definite something happening in this area, and that was before your man pointed out the fact that we had another light to our immediate side. So that, it was almost as if I felt like someone was standing there. You've got to differentiate the imagination from what is actually there.
Imagination can run away with you. I don't know if anything was pulling Sally. Okay, we make our way up the stairs, back up to a table that has been set up for our seance, and we're going to have the seance. Hope you folks are enjoying this. I wish we could invite you all to experience what we're all experiencing. Now I'm back up in the kitchen area. Let's move to the seance now. First of all, John, what are we supposed to do? We are seated at a table, 4 of us with candlelight only. We have around us little cards with the alphabet on them, and also with a yes card and a no card. Okay. We have the numbers 1 through 0, 1 through 9 plus a 0, and we have the alphabet. Okay. We're going to put our hand on this
It's called a planchette.
A planchette.
Okay.
And it will point to a letter or a number, and we're going to write this down. We have John in the background writing down the sentences or the numbers or whatever it's going to point to. Okay, and that will supposedly be a communications between these entities and ourselves.
Yes. We don't know to whom we're addressing these questions. We would appreciate it very much if the entity that is listening, if it can understand us, if it can communicate with us, would give us the name under which they were known.
I really don't know.
M.
I. Is that an I?
I or 1. N.
M-I-N. N.
N.
M-I-N-N.
Minnie.
Minnie. Let me ask you an easy question. My arm's getting tired.
Okay. Is your name Minnie?
Yes.
Yes.
Can I take my hand off
Okay.
this thing for a minute?
Go ahead.
Holy Ghost. Minnie. What do we determine from Minnie?
That is one of the entities that we have communicated with before. It is a relative of the family. That is, it was an aunt of mine.
Died?
Yes.
How long ago?
About 17 years ago.
A number of things in this house have belonged to relatives of Sally. I think that's correct, is it not?
Right.
Okay. Well, let's ask Minnie if she has anything she wants to tell anyone in this room.
Well, how about if can they appear or something?
We're going to try to get to that point.
Okay, it's
Minnie,
going around again.
I don't know you, but is there something that you wish to tell somebody in this room?
Okay, it went to yes.
Okay. Okay, Minnie, would you point to the person you wish to speak?
It's pointing toward, I guess that's you, Sally, isn't it?
I did.
Okay, fine.
Is it Sally that you wish to speak to, Minnie? Yes.
It pointed to yes.
Okay. Minnie, what's your message?
Went to J. O.
H.
J-O-H. N.
N.
J-O-H-N. Minnie wants to tell Sally something about John, I assume. Is that where we are, John DeMoyer?
Apparently.
Which John does Minnie want to tell Sally something about? Sally.
Hey, Minnie, which John do you want to tell me something about? What is John's last name, please?
Well, maybe it's easier if we ask Minnie, does she want to talk to John DeMoyer, to talk about John DeMoyer?
Okay, Minnie, do you want to talk about John DeMaurier?
Oh.
Okay.
They went to no.
Do you want to talk to John Signa?
Starting to turn toward yes. Okay, Minnie wants to tell Sally something about John Signa. Is that what we are?
I assume.
Okay, Minnie, you don't have too much time for the break for the 11 o'clock news, so how can we get the message out faster than going from letter to letter?
There is no other way.
No other way.
Unless she wants to speak to us.
Hey, Minnie, I want to tell you, since we're short on time, can you say a few words?
We can use a Ouija board. All I have to do is...
Okay, there's a Ouija board now. Can you explain to people who don't know what a Ouija board is, John? What is a Ouija board?
Okay, it's simply a flat surface with the letters of the alphabet on it, with the numbers 1 to 0.
And you put the same thing on it?
Same thing.
Okay.
A.
M-A.
And the Y.
May.
May.
M-A-B. B-E. Maybe.
H.
H. Maybe H. E. H-E. Maybe H-E.
W.
H-E-W.
I.
What he will see C-S-P. S-P. Maybe he will see S-P. S-P-I. Spirit. Maybe he will see spirit.
Would you show yourself to John? Okay. Where shall we have John look so that he can see you? S-T. Well, I guess we all know what that is. The stairs? Should he look?
That's where I've been looking.
Should he look at the stairs? Yes.
Completely dark in the room right now. Looking at the stairs. Okay, I'll tell you what I see. I'm seeing a gray mass of something. Can she make a noise or something to... Oh, come on, Benny, make a noise. Did you hear a noise, Sally?
I heard the noise on the landing.
Yes.
Yeah.
John, there's your form.
Where? Where?
You're talking about towards the kitchen?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it.
Right in the middle by the kitchen door, John.
Right in the middle. Okay, you see it, John?
No, I don't see it. Oh, boy, we're late. I tell you, okay, let's take a break for the news, and we'll come back and discuss what we've just done with the seance on Someplace Special, KDKA, Pittsburgh, Group W, Westinghouse Broadcasting.
I ran into Sally Abbott at a mall several years after her son Sam and my sister had split up. I was saddened to learn that Sally and her husband Sam had gotten a divorce and they sold their house. I found myself walking around Freeport a few months ago, and I decided to take a stroll past the Abbott place. I saw nothing unusual there. It was just another old house built around 1880, but it was nicely decorated with a few Adirondack chairs on the front porch. It wasn't quite the same on Halloween in 1978, as John Cigna and the KDKA Radio team visited.
Okay, what I'm going to do, John, is make suggestions to you. I want you to close your eyes, but look in the direction of the candle. It might be helpful.
Close my eyes.
Hold hands.
Hold hands.
Okay, now you're holding
I'm
hands.
holding hands now with Sally and Lucy.
Right, okay. The reason for that
Close my eyes.
is that they are both closer to the individual that I want you to picture.
Okay.
I want you to picture in your mind a green door. Can you picture a green door in your mind? Okay, can you picture a doorknob on that door?
Okay.
You can see the doorknob.
On the right-hand side.
Okay. Can you stick out your hand in your mind? It's all being done in your mind.
Okay.
Now, can you imagine that door opening? Pull it towards you. Can you
It's
pull
open a little bit.
Okay. Are you pulling it towards you?
Well, I don't know
Or
what's
away
happening.
from you.
The door is opening. I mean,
Okay. On the other side of that door is a person. Tell us what that person looks like. That person is Minnie, and she's looking at you.
It's black behind that door. It's lit behind that door.
Okay. Close the door. Now, this is going to be another way of doing it. Imagine in your mind a knocking on the door.
Yeah.
Okay. Minnie's on the other side of the door, John. Open the door. She's standing there. She has a face. She has a body. It's going to come clear. It's going to come out of the darkness. You have no idea what Minnie looks like.
No,
You're the creator.
it's still black back there.
When that door opened, Joyce, you did picture somebody in your mind. Who did you picture?
How do you know that?
Tell us who you pictured.
Get Joyce on the microphone. That's Joyce Richmond, by the way, our producer.
Go ahead.
I don't know that I pictured any body. I saw a hand.
Okay. Did anyone else?
I saw a face with a lot of, like older with lines. Reminded me more like an Indian, maybe.
Okay. Well, what, olden time?
A lot of lines in her face.
A lot of
And it
wrinkles?
looked like she was a
Hard life?
Yeah, hard life. Yes, that's what she was.
Hard life.
Right.
Did you see anything in your mind?
No, I just saw a door, like John said, and it just opened up. I couldn't see anything behind the door.
The reason we were trying to get a description was because of the fact that we have a picture of Minnie right here on the table. Harry has just pointed out the picture of the person that he saw. And this is Minnie of this collection of people. He pointed out Minnie. That's Aunt Minnie right there. And that's the woman he says he saw.
There was a hot and humid spell maybe 10 years ago. It was in the upper 90s. That's 36 for anyone outside the U.S. No air conditioning in the house. Our ceiling fan blew hot air around. And my wife was on the couch. She passed out and started speaking in tongues, for a lack of a better description. She was unresponsive and speaking gibberish. My son was training to be an EMT, so I called him downstairs while I grabbed the cordless phone. The phone was dead. We should have taken her to the hospital ourselves. I dialed 911 on my cellular phone. Its signal was picked up by a tower directly across the river from us, across the county line. The dispatch center there had to transfer my call to my county dispatch center. It was around 11 p.m. The dispatcher told me to turn on the porch light. Well, I went to the switch, flipped it to on, and nothing. Are you kidding me? I grabbed a flashlight to flag down the ambulance. A trip to the local ER confirmed that my wife wasn't possessed by the devil, which I'll admit was my first thought, and I'd told the doctor as much. When we got home, I discovered that the porch light was now on, and the phones worked just fine when I checked them. It took several years and another hot, humid day to determine that there was something loose in the wiring in the basement. No poltergeists were involved. The phone and the porch light happened to be on the same circuit breaker.
Where do we go from here, John DeMore? You take some calls, or?
I think we should sit with a candle and just be comfortable. Maybe while we're talking to these people, we'll see other things.
Mr. Signa.
Yes.
This is a grandson of the former owner of the house.
Oh, wow. Did you, in any time visiting your grandparents, notice anything strange in this house?
Well, Sally and I talked about this, and the only thing that I could relate to was the attic door, that it would never, ever stay closed or stay locked. In my senior year, I stayed in the house with my grandfather. The feeling I get is the same feeling you get, to see it, to believe it.
Yeah, and I saw some strange things, but I don't know what they are, and I'm not going to say that they were ghosts or entities or anything else. Just unexplained little lights that I saw, and I saw some kind of figure on the other side of the banister, which looked like a gray blob, but I don't know. I just don't know what it is. I don't know what to say. Good evening. You're on the air with our guests.
I live in a haunted house, too. I saw the ghost one night. I woke up in bed, and I looked up, and there was a man looking down at me. And right away, I thought it was my husband. And I says, "What are you doing in the middle of the night?" And I realized my husband was laying beside me, and I gave out one scream. And I scared it so bad, it just like melted in front of my eyes. But now, I call it Charlie. And it's a prankster.
Oh, hold it. There's something standing at the top of the steps.
We heard the crying of a child upstairs. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was upstairs or not.
Yeah.
We moved towards the stairwell, myself and John. And as I moved further up the stairs, I realized there was something standing in the top of the stairs, looking down at me.
Who saw it?
I saw it. He saw it.
Let's go see what it is. Okay, we're going up the stairs again. There was a figure standing right here.
There was a form standing right at the top of the stairwell, looking down over. What is amazing is, as we came up the stairs, you and I, it backed into this door.
So it's got to be in this room.
So into this room is where it backed in.
All right. Yes, it's colder than it was out in the hallway. And you say this is the warmest room in the home?
This is the warmest room in the house. My father was staying with us over Thanksgiving holiday in that room over there. Our bedroom is over there. He saw something, a woman, walk from my room to this room.
Did you see the form at the top of the steps?
Yes.
Okay. Harry O'Toole saw it.
John saw it.
I did see the voice, yes.
Okay, and John DeMore, you saw it.
Yes.
Yes.
Did you see? This is Tom Monahan's son, right?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Mike.
Mike, you saw it too?
Yeah, Harry pointed out.
Tom Monahan, by the way, is our chief engineer who's out here, and his son is along helping out a little bit and just kind of seeing things. What did you see?
Well, Mr. O'Toole pointed out to me, he said there's something standing up there. So he pointed out to me, I saw, it's like a figure. I couldn't make it out clearly, but I saw a figure standing up there. It was looking down at us.
Man, woman, you know?
I don't know, it was small, it wasn't big.
I thought it was a man because what I thought was peculiar was I leaned forward to get a better look. It leaned forward to look down.
dark form that travels around the house. This dark form, you can see it moving back and forth.
I'm tending to believe that they did see something.
Well, this is important because John indicated to me he had never seen anything and he did not believe in it, but he wanted to learn about it.
Can we get back to this form? Is it possible it's still in here?
No,
we don't see?
No, I would think...
In these closets?
I really don't know, John. Where do we look? We didn't see anything until we heard the crying of a child.
All right, we're back up in the attic again.
When I saw the figure, it was not a feeling of seeing one of those gray things that we talk about seeing.
Well, the way you all went up the stairs, I got the impression that there was somebody there, but not an entity or a ghost, that there was actually some person there that you were afraid to go up the stairs.
It literally seemed like a real figure standing there. I mean, it did seem that. Right? It was dark, and as you and I went up the stairs, it backed into that room.
Good evening, you're on the air with our guests.
Is it more often than not that you see things on stairs or stairways?
Oh, no. It's just that stairs are such a natural place for people to move up and down. Anyway, let me say that, no, it's not that there are certain areas that have more opportunity for things to be seen. In fact, majority of times we investigate anything, we don't see anything. This is what makes this house in particular such a prize. I wouldn't be afraid. I wasn't afraid that we brought anybody to this home.
Sadly, young Sam Abbott passed away about 4 years ago. His dad died just last year. I think Sally is living not far from where I live. I wonder if she still contacts the afterlife. What I mentioned about finding that loose wire that caused our phone and porch light to go out got me thinking. What if a screw had skinned 2 doorbell wires when my parents' house was built in the 1960s? Could that have somehow shorted them together in the heat and humidity, randomly ringing the bell? Anyway, there's another mystery solved, and they would have gotten away with it if it wasn't, for me being so inquisitive. So, forgive me if I'm skeptical of all the shenanigans that went on when John Cigna visited the Abbott house in Freeport, Pennsylvania, back in 1978. And here's something that I recently learned. That friend that I mentioned, who happened to babysit for the Abbotts, she's also friends with the current homeowners. They told her there have never been any incidents in their home. Now, if I was a believer, I'd probably think that the entities might have been attached to some of those old items that the Abbotts had stored in the house. I'm guessing the new homeowners would have had those items removed. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I tried my darndest to edit this broadcast enough to keep it under an hour. I hope I'm not going long. Remember to like, subscribe, and activate the notification bell. Then you'll know when I post my next episode of Old Joe's Reminiscence.